Hello and welcome to Shadow Empire, an absolute gem of a little game. Or I don't know if it can really be called a little game. It is a very complicated game, and yeah, produced by one singular individual. But it is amazing, and I would like to show it to you and play it. So here we go. So just gonna start a new game. It has quite an involved planet generation scheme, and yeah, lots of variant options. Different planets have different flavors. But I'm not sure if the different planet styles really have all that much impact. I mean, they can do, obviously, because you can get hostile alien life forms or lava planets, and they do affect the gameplay. But for the moment, I am just going to stick to these desert planets. And although they complain about there's not really much water, there is more than enough water to, yeah, allow you to get on with things. So I'm going to be playing on regular difficulty and mostly like a basic start up, quick plans generation. So we're just going to get what we're going to get. I turned crime syndicates off because, yeah, there's a lot in this game. I haven't quite figured out exactly how they work. So just going to get dropped into this planet and we're going to go from there. This is an absolute gem of a game. I think I said that before. It has got so many different complexities on so many different levels, and they all interact with each other. It's just a lot of fun. I've put a lot of hours into this already, and it's great. So yeah, and it's a bit too involved as well, I find, to try and give you an introduction at the start. But as we go through it, I'll discuss and talk about the things that have been done and why. There's so many different things you have to balance to try and be even marginally successful. An Iron Fist, or a Skull, or why not? Oh geez, that's a skull in the tree. That looks samurai-ish. Let's go with the fist. Okay, so the basic theme of this game is it's a 4X game, but you're on a planet that has survived the apocalypse of some variety, and you're a scattered little tribe of humans who are trying to bring things together in a very, very hostile world. And you've got these three different tiers. You've got government, enforcement, yeah, and commerce. Basically, they try and put some narrative here in, but really the only thing is these numbers, and I'm going to choose the commerce numbers because I generally find that works best at the start. Similarly, the mind number, and also going to go with meritocracy. So your government has these three kind of little circles. Yeah. Hey, Queen Space. That sounds fine. Okay, so introduction screens, things are happening. Okay, so also in this game, just to randomize things up, at the start of every game, you get some kind of an age where you gain political power points. So this is going to go on in 12 turns, it's going to become in full force, and then I'm going to be getting more political power points, and then it'll degrade, and then there'll be a new thing, usually a bad event, and you're going to have to manage with that. So it cycles with these things, but that's fine. 100 political bonus points is pretty good. And of course, to make this game complicated, there's also a whole complicated card mechanic into it as well, which we will go through too. Okay, there is a ton of information in these interfaces. So let me talk about these things briefly. This is your government. And you got these three aspects. You got democracy, autocracy, and meritocracy. And if you get them high, then you can get bonuses. But the higher autocracy is, then it beats meritocracy down, and the higher meritocracy is, it beats democracy down, and the higher democracy is, it beats autocracy down. So it's not practical to get high numbers in all of them, but you can get high in some of them, or you can try and get flat numbers in most of them. Sorry, I just had the heater on for a short while. I hope that wasn't making too much of a buzz, but I turned it off. So you want to take advantage of the events you get. So there's always some kind of thing going on. You get these ton of events, and these kind of help you to manage what your empire is, and also the characters you're dealing with. Your characters are also really, really important. So here's some event, and there's some things that can happen here, and you can read these things. Something about a citizen, but I look here, I costs 1 political power point. He likes me more. I get commerce, I get fist. These are generally good things. Unless, of course, you don't want the commerce to beat down government, then maybe you don't want this one. But generally, positive numbers are good. So, ascension speech. Okay, so another opportunity to pick the things that I want. And yeah, I really took a bonus to meritocracy from the start. So I'm going to keep on with meritocracy. Hooray! New organization, always, always, always. Economic Council first, and then Military Research Council. Or maybe Military Research Council first and then Economic Council, but they're the important ones. Oh, geez. Okay, they offer us to pay credits, exchange, share our knowledge. Well, that's all positive numbers, so let's take them. Okay, and people will like me more. Whoo, boy. There's a ton in this game, and we're going to go through it. But as we go along, it's really much too much to explain. Or at the start, it will make you cry. Okay. So here is my little empire. This is an overview of my little town here. It's a big town. I'm going to turn down these sounds. I worry that they might be a little bit too loud. Do, 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 do. Okay. So it still feels too loud, even though it's on like 3. Okay. Okay, so yes, it's a big town. I have 63,000 population, 1,500 workers, and these are all the assets in the town, and these basically run my economy, which I need, and my resources are here. I have food, I have water, I have fuel, and I have metal, and I have industry, and I have energy. And the start of the game, the biggest things I want to prioritize about is exploring and getting metal and industry up as much as possible. Those are the priorities. So let's have a look at our leaders, our governor. Here's the character screen. So of course it's complicated and it organizes everything here. So the main things I'm looking for is, I guess, his intelligence. That's quite a high number. That will influence most of his intelligence abilities somehow. He has a capacity of 2. Now, capacity goes from 1 to 5. For something as important as the governor of your main position, capacity 2 is lower than you'd want it to be. Ideally, you want a 3 or a 4. 5s are very uncommon, so you can never hope for them. But when you have them, you use them. So, not great. We might replace him. Definitely could be worse. We can also look at all the leaders that we currently have. And we just have one guy who hasn't been assigned to anything, capacity 1, intelligence 11. He is worse than garbage. We don't want him. And it's actually quite difficult to get rid of people. You kind of need to manage that in a way. There are ways to do it. But let's explore it. Hey, Durbans, which is like Durban, except with an S, which is a quite a large city in South Africa. But there you have it. 17,000 free folk here. They're not really part of my empire, but if I make my city here nice, they'll come and join and live with me. So one thing I do start off with is some militia units. Here is my commander. He is capacity 2, 68, super old. And at the start of the game, you don't really have much choice of leaders. You kind of just have to use with what you got because they are in short supply. But let's explore our empire. Well, I call it our empire, but you know, it's unclaimed land, as it were. So you have all sorts of assets. So this is the brothel. If I put people here, it makes me happy. These things don't seem particularly important. But yeah, if unit has morale growth and is in the same zone as the brothel, then +2 extra morale growth. Okay, so units get morale quicker if there's a brothel about, if there's in the same zone. So we have a liquid compound here. This is plus energy. This is actually super good. This is really, really, really good actually. It's really hard to get your energy up at the start of the game, so just having a bonus like that is amazing. So our energy is sorted for the first part. That's really good. And there's a whole logistics part of the game. This is also actually super complicated, but we'll get to that. I hope this sounds fine. I hope it's not too annoying. So we are going to leave this here for now. These are the assets that I have, but we do have these ruins here. We've got these scavenge points, and this is going to be a primary source of metal at the start. So we've got 8,000 scavenge points here, 15,000, 40,000. So what I can do here is build a recycling facility, and this will help give me some metal. It's not a lot. Also gives me some rare materials and oil, which is good. So build one of those. But ideally, I want a metal resource deposit. We might have to find one or prospect for one, or hope we just somehow get one. So we'll end the turn, do some exploring, and things will definitely happen. That's for sure. The turns in the game can take a little bit of a while, especially in the later game. They can take a few minutes. At the start of the game, they should not be too long. Doobie 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 doo. I never know what to say. Well, the turns are processing. We can talk about this water drop. That's a water reserve, so I can build like an ice mine facility there, and I can get some water. But at the moment, I do get enough water, so that's not really a problem in the immediate. Turns definitely take much longer when you're on camera. Okay. Hey, that's interesting. Okay, a militia parade, and for reasons this event always happens. Okay, we found 7 machinery just by exploring, so that's pretty cool. That's good. And you've got these cards which you can play. They cost political power, which is actually quite a rare resource at the start of the game. So the number of ways you can do this, you can go through our decisions first, and I always find this one's pretty great to get the militia power up, because then you can get new militia units, and they're pretty good. Well, they're not good, but they're kind of free. So the political decision we've just got here is adventurer discovers a special location, and I get basically these points if I promise to keep it, and that sounds like a good idea. It also makes these guys happy, which is also good, so I'm gonna do that. Yeah, and you also can choose how to spend your resources or your money or your administration points, and we're gonna leave this like this is for the moment. Oh crap. We need someone to be in charge of our economic council, and this guy is the worst. So we're going to need to figure out how to get someone new, and hopefully there is a card here to recruit a junior. This is how we can get new leaders. So I'm going to run this twice. I'll cost 16 political power points. I now have 7, but it does mean that when I come back to this decision, I have a different option. And he's 3. He's 24 years old. He has no experience. He's young. Right, but that's okay. He'll grow into this position. So what actually means for his abilities is these skill points, these levels here, and they're all 0. So at the moment, he's not really going to be any good, but he's going to increase in skill quite quickly because he's a capacity 3 leader. So we're going to go for him, and hopefully he will do quite well. And then you have to choose what this economic council is going to do. So the bottom one is for generating some kind of cards. This is prospecting. So although finding metal deposits is important, it kind of gets the job done. Research is actually researching a thing, which we're going to put down to very low because there's nothing to research yet, because we first have to discover what you want to research. So first we want to discover the options. So that's the order of things. Okay, so Brundestein wants us to be friends. So we just push escape and we figure out who Brunstein is. He's over there. These guys are unclear. We have a road that goes through there, so that will lead somewhere. So what I'm actually going to do is, it's always best to have one enemy at a time. So I'm going to accept that this is basically a peace offer, so we're going to be friends. We are going to be friends. Okay. So my industrial capacity is 0 because I'm trying to build this asset, which is going to make me some more metal. And then when I have enough metal, I'm going to think about building some actual industry. And this is the hex I promised to protect. It's a monastery. It makes some bureaucratic points. It's not super great, but it's nice. But so let's see if... And these numbers designate the strength of the unit. And I don't want to send my strong units all the way up there. So that guy can go there. And this guy can secure that town, which hopefully will bring people into my empire. And also just exploring. Hey, another asset. This looks like a good one. More industrial capacity. That's IP. That's actually pretty sweet. So getting a little bit lucky actually. So because I made peace with Brunstein, I can't, the borders change as you move your units about. So yeah, things are starting at least. Now the thing that we want to do is we made our economic council, but to make our military council, we actually have to call the secretary. And I know it's going to cost very few political power to make the military council. We probably won't have enough. Yeah, we don't have enough. I needed 8. Well, I just wasted 2 political power points. But it's important to get that done. So, and as you play the game, population shifts about and all these things change. And as they become relevant, I'll start talking about them. I mean, they're always relevant. There is actually a lot to talk about during this game. So your cities have all these kind of factors: unrest, danger, fear, and you need to keep your people happy. And if you keep them happy, they'll stay, and your economy will thrive, and you can make new kinds of weapons and explore the world and conquer things. If they're unhappy, if they're unfed, or they're fearful because there are enemies nearby, then they will leave. And your economy will come to a grinding halt, and you won't be able to supply your armies, and everything cascades into a terrifying nightmare disaster. You wish to avoid this. Another really important aspect is the logistics of the game. So supplies are built in your city, or not built, but you need to supply your armies with food and water. If I remember rightly, militia units don't actually require supply, but when you build your own units, as we will do at some point quite soon, they do need to require supply from the city. Okay, let's see. Ooh, this is really good. 400 grade infantry. These are like leftover from the Great Republic, and they're super duper good. So these will help us a lot in any battles, and we want to try and get. We definitely want to get an early victory. So let's see where these guys are. Here they are. So what you can do for comparison is I can click them. They have 250 hit points, and they've got 284 soft attack and 500 soft defense. So just try and remember those numbers, okay? And we're going to compare them to what the militia units are. 60, 10, and 20. So it was like 25 times the soft attack and 10 soft attack, 280 soft attacks. So these guys are great. So we want to keep them alive as much as possible. We don't want to lose them, and we just want to use them as much as possible because they will really help us win any kind of battle. These green numbers here tell me the unit is in full supply. This black number means he has no supply because, well, there's no supply because, oh no, I lost coverage of that. I'm not sure why that happened. Maybe there's an enemy there. Basically, we're going along this road looking for an enemy, and we have found this is kind of like a neutral guy, so we have no information on him. That's why it's just a black square. We can still fight him, but you never want to fight what you don't know. So we're just going to keep exploring for a while. Hey, this is a big town. 55,000 people. I think I don't want to jinx us, but I think we're getting quite lucky in the start. Okay, CEO asks us to participate, and this allows us to adjust our government slider, but it will cost us political power, which is fine because these benefits are actually really good. So let's take commerce and meritocracy. And so why those things are important is you have this massive matrix of feats. And if I have high meritocracy, I have a 23% chance of accomplishing this feat, which gives me extra diplomacy rolls and this card that I might get. And then as you go up, you can get better and better cards, and every tree has its own bonuses. And you just have to have a high number in like fist, and then you have a chance of getting this. But as I was saying before, if you have a high fist, it beats the mind down, so it's almost going to be impossible to get all of them. You kind of have to make some strategic decisions as what you want to be trying to achieve. So the ruins are good. The ruins are super good. And I think I'm going to build another one here. I can do this because we have extra industrial capacity from that hex that we found. Let's find the right menu, and we can build another. I can't. I don't have enough IP to build the road. I guess that's not happening this turn, but I want to do it. You can still move. The green dots on the top designate how far they can move, or how many action points they have, rather. And you generally just want to explore as much as you can. As you discover hexes, I will be doing prospecting on them. That happens kind of automatically, but you do provide economic or bureaucratic power to do that. So we can have a quick look at what we have here, and I think that's fine. That's fine. So still looking for a target. We actually want a minor regime's city to conquer. That's what we really want. But knowing how logistics works in this game, this is an uncomfortable distance, but might still be workable. So that teal color means that's either a minor or a major regime. We're looking for a minor regime to conquer and expand into. The start has been quite lucky in the respect that we've got the liquid. Is this liquid? This hex, which gives us extra electricity. This hex, which gives us extra production. So those are big bonuses straight up. And these infantry as well. Typically when you start, you'll have some kind of bonuses. It's quite random what you're going to get. And the idea is that you're generally supposed to play with the hand you dealt, which has an element of randomness in this game. That's also really, really cool. Hey, rare metal deposits, which sounds great, but really it's metal deposits that I'm looking for. But I won't complain. Okay, so we got accomplished envoys. So now we have a chance of getting this recruit talent card, which is really good because that gives us that will allow us to get a competent individual. The CEO has asked us for a subsidy, and it's worth it. I think it's 300 credits, but I get commerce plus 5. And those bonuses are really good. When you get those, I think they're worth it rather. Okay, we have an enemy here. So this is just a militia unit. I'm just going to sit on this because that's the priority. I want the bonus, I want to keep it. So I'm happy enough to sit on it. And let's see what we're dealing with here. Okay, we have a minor regime here, and we have a major regime. So I don't want to fight the major regime. We want to be friends. It's the minor regime that I want to kill. I do need to get that military council up, but I want someone who's not a complete. You're pretty cool. Where did you come from? So you will be. Here's a hard choice. Because. Okay. Because I'm thinking, what do I want to use him for? Do I want him to lead my first brigade, or do I want him to run the military council? And let's put him in the military council. It's a really important role. So let's call the secretary. New organization, research council. Let's make you. And then next turn I'll be asked, who do I want? So yeah, collecting individuals, collecting people is really super important. So okay, what are you? You're the major regime. You're a minor regime. Generally, if you follow the roads far enough, you'll find what you're looking for. But this is uncomfortably far. I don't like it. It's actually too far. We need to find a target. I was hoping there'd be a population center nearest here that I could conquer, but this distance is too far. The logistics in this game is actually really stretched. If I can show you, this is my logistics network. I can only supply resources up to this point. There are things you can do to increase this by traffic lights, traffic signs, to make sure it all goes along this path, but this is going to be too much of a challenge at this early stage in the game. So although I made friends with the other people, unless I find something more compelling, they are going to have to be done a stabby stab. So I need more industrial capacity. Let's have a look how much I got. I got in 100. Yeah, hey, service tax contributed 60 industrial points, and a very small degraded AF produced 40. So I'm making 100 a turn. So hopefully this will be finished soon. Why did you not get the 400? I'm not sure. Yeah, there's a lot going on in this game. So I need those industrial points, and there's not much more I can do without them. So still exploring the map, still looking for a target to exploit. I'm going to keep going. And how you choose to assign your good leaders is a decision that's important. So as I was saying, your governors of your bigger zones, and we can make more zones, but the governors of your bigger zones, they're important. So I think the three most important roles is probably the governors, your economic council, and your military council. And then I also want one or two military leaders who are top class, because you can train them up. The way all the leaders work is the more they do, they get better at it. It's a getting better by doing kind of game. So there's a base kind of increase in experience that they get per turn just because they're the people, but if they're actually doing things, they'll develop those skills. So this is interesting. Oh dear. So if you have a high capacity military commander in the early game, you can build up those military skills a lot. Okay, so we killed 200 infantry. We got attacked somewhere. Hey, this is another perk that I got, which is a good one. Send spy. It might be worthwhile because the spies will be able to tell me where the bad guys are. So, oh geez, yeah, this is not really worth it. Just stay there. Maybe I'll get the bonuses for having it, but maybe not. You're just a minor regime. Okay, now I have some industrial capacity points I can work with. Who are you? Don't know who you are, but you cut me off. Not sure who they are. Okay, let's see. New director for Military Research Council. Who did we decide? We decided on this guy. He's pretty good. And kind of same thing as before. We want to discover things to research first. Okay, this is from the cults. So if we give them a donation, I give them a donation, then I will kind of foster their growth, and then I get these perks. If I don't, I get these negatives. And I'm going to take the negatives because I don't really want to give them the money, and it makes the people happy. Keeping the people happy is pretty important. Okay. Definitely need someone to kill. So let's see if we can. We still can't bring anyone in, which is a problem. But hopefully next turn, I'm hoping we're going to be able to. And one of the reasons why I'm just like scrolling through those options so quickly is because I need a foreign council before I can even use these things. I need like a foreign council and a covert ops council, and I just do not have the leaders to make those things. The priority here is I want to raise a formation to explore and expand and exploit. So yeah, I don't know why the game starts you on the core. Like, you're just never going to make a core in the early stages of the game. It's just not happening. Go to a brigade. So this brigade requires 5,500 infantry. It lets you know here what it needs. We're a little short on industry, we're a little short on manpower, but I'm going to raise it because what it allows us to do, we can, what am I trying to say? So now we get these 5 units. We get these 5 infantry units and headquarter units. We can replenish them. We can build reinforcements for them, and we will. But in the meantime, the next big thing that I want to build is light industry, but it's really expensive. There's 3 rounds here. It's confusing. This is how much you pay per round. So I need 1,500 metal and 240 industrial capacity to build this thing, and that's more than I can achieve right now. But the game also runs on what they call bureaucracy points, and this is a much cheaper thing to build, and these are really important. So this is within my reach, so that's going to go down first, but the industry is a top priority. It's just too expensive right now, and those units that I can build will help grow the empire in ways which are important. So yeah, so I got another feat as the mind one. So technology fascination, I get a research bonus, and I get these guys, these techno mages, and these guys can get assigned to your military units as you go along. And yeah, anyone attacking them suffers a 50% penalty in their attack. And I can also get this infiltration, this posture. So in the game later on, you can assign postures to your military units, and that will typically give them an attack bonus with a defense penalty, or a defense bonus with an attack penalty. There is a lot to this game, and I know I've been going super fast talking about all the things I can and can't do, and I've barely scratched the surface. I think it might just be better if I just played the game and more tell you what I'm doing and why I'm doing them, giving you a better indication of what's going on. This is an absolute gem of the game. I like it so much. I kind of just wish there were more games like this. I kind of gotten bored of the whole Civ series. I was a young kid. I should not give away my age when Civ 1 came out. That was a game once upon a time, Civ 1. And they've increased it, they've iterated it, they've added, but it's kind of reached the point where each new Civ game doesn't really seem different to the previous. They've stuck to a very samey formula, and it doesn't feel new anymore. I've really been disappointed in the latest Civ games. Okay, we've got 54 metal, that's cool. Plea of friendship, that's not particularly helpful. So I really, okay, Sacred School demands that you hire the candidate. Whenever this happens, you know the candidate is going to be garbage, but I need people. Panzerbund demands an oath of peace. I think that was this major guy. Who's Panzerbund? Here. It's the minor regime up there. They're too far away, so I'll take peace with them, and they're raiders. So we'll do that. New commander, right. So we've got this guy who is complete garbage and old, and we've got this guy who is complete garbage and older. Yeah, Jesus. Is there no way to get someone else? Not yet. Not yet. This is... I really need more people. More leaders. I want a good leader. Want a good leader. Okay. Just checking. Can I actually... okay, I can still invade Brudestein. I'm not going to do it quite yet, but... and I'm going to get a penalty for failing to keep that monastery. But it is what it is. So I'm going to follow this road with the idea that it's going to take me somewhere nice. So I'm sending the invasion army here, this way, to conquer something, but I don't know what I'm going to conquer yet because I haven't been there before. It's excellent tactical strategy planning. It's brilliant. It's hard to explain, but trust me, it's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. It's good. So now you kind of just want everything, but you can afford nothing. So let's get the bureaucratic offices up, and I need metal. I need metal to be able to build. I need metal to be able to build. To get enough, I need enough metal so I can build manufacturing. So I have to build more recycling plants, I think is the way I'm going to do it. And every building you can be upgraded a few levels. And near the later in the game, I often find that I'm just running terribly short on workers, which is always a problem. Because you actually need workers to work. And you can pay them too, which is a luxury. So you've got these ruins and they've got scavenge points, and then as long as they've got scavenge points, the recycling facilities can operate and they get goodies out of them, which is handy. And at the moment that's my only source of metal. But there's enough there to keep me going. I should find a metal mine at some point soon, hopefully. Come on, give me a turn. Okay. Okay, now what I'm really looking for is anything that'll give me a leader. So now I've discovered high velocity guns. These are anti-tank guns. So now if I wanted to, I can research anti-tank guns, but I do not want anti-tank guns. And you just have to keep going until you find the thing that you want. So because this facility is so important, I'm just going to park this guy on him and he's not going to move. Here's a militia unit. He is kind of garbage, so that's fine. This militia unit only has like, it says 5 units, but 3 are trucks which don't fight. So he's basically 2 units, so he's pretty weak. So we're going to leave him be. And now I have 130 industry points. So I think it's a good idea to build another recycling facility. That'll be good. Bureaucratic office should be here. Okay, so let's follow this road. I still don't have anyone to assign to this unit. Take the candidates. I will take the candidate. He'll probably be complete garbage. Okay, this is quite fun. This is a sealed door in Omicron. Indefinite quarantine. You open the door. So we can just open the door, or we can take a roll. We can roll 1d100 dice plus 32 versus an average difficulty of 127. So I'll probably do terribly. Or I can make sure the door stays closed for now, or I can just... I'm going to make sure the door is closed for now, because I'm going to wait for my governor to be better, so I can get a better roll on this. Actually, let's just study the situation and see what happens. So I didn't get the roll. I was below the difficulty level. He says it seems to be safe. So I'm not sure this is a bug, but we failed the roll, but he says it seems it's going to save, so I'm just going to leave alone. Okay, let's see what you are. You're 34 and capacity 2. I mean, you just... Okay, I'm just going to have to start with something. So there's a very high chance I'll rotate her out. She's not what I'm looking for. I want much younger and better. Her war score is 26, which is also fairly garbage. So we're going to try and get better people. In the meantime, I've got these garbage people which can do a research council, one of the less important ones, but it's just so important to have them. So Interior Council, if I remember rightly, helps me get new and better people. Or at least there's some cards that allows it to do that. So let's have... Okay, so these are enemies. I don't know what they are. Hey, what are you? You're a mercenary person. These are also really cool. These guys give you recruits. I haven't covered that yet. But of course you need soldiers to be part of your army. And this is how many soldiers I have here. I have 2100 and I'm recruiting 500 per turn from my city. But this perk just gives me an extra free 300 per turn and is great. So we should go and get that. Okay. So now he's become revealed, and the reason he's become revealed is because I have increased my recon score on him, and every unit, this guy you can see has a recon quality of 1. So as I just put in more units near him, my recon score goes out. Now this is the headquarters unit, and you can use them to fight. I prefer not to, because your command has a chance of being killed. So obviously that's not good. Okay, and talking about logistics, because my army is all up here and I have so poor logistics at the start of the game, I'm gonna have to go into what am I looking for? Traffic lights. So this is, and let's hide units to make things clearer. So let's make some traffic lights. So the way the game works is it always splits in half. So I start with 400, 200 this way, 200 this way, 100 this way, 100 this way, and I do not need 100 going up this way or this way. So if I put in a traffic signal here, and let's say I block off 80%, then more will go that way, and then I'll block off 90%. Oh no, that's not the right one. 90% there, then more will go that way, and I'll check to make sure that everything is done nicely next turn and there are no problems. And this will make sure I have more logistics points going up in this direction, which is exactly what I want. There's a lot to this game. Like a lot, but it's good. And now, these guys, there should be 1,000, but I only bought them with 700. So I'm short on 1,500 infantry. Let's fix that. Actually, before I do that, what's more important, and this is important, is, okay, so I said before we get a corps or a brigade, but what we really want is some buggies, and we have to build them as an independent battalion. So I can't build them yet because I'm short on something. I don't know what I am short on yet. I have the industrial points, I have the metal, I have the workers. I didn't have the logistic points, so I was selecting the square that didn't have the logistics points, so now I can build this. So I'm going to build it, because they're also great. So these are like buggies, like sand buggies with a machine gun on it. But what's also really important is that you assign it to the headquarters. Select the buggy, unit admin, and you can change headquarters, and you assign it to your 1st Infantry Brigade. And that's actually really important, so it will benefit from the bonuses that the leader provides. And although they're like new and garbage at the start, the bonuses that they can produce later on in the game can be super good. So anything to help them develop better skills is good. So there've been a lot of good things about the start, but I still need An enemy city to conquer. I guess it's like most Forex games that way, that you want like a nice quick early win to help you start. And this game is not different in that regard. Oh boy. And later on in the game we can get tanks and artillery and some really big tanks and Walker Max. It's a ton of fun. Okay, so yeah, so that was the underground archive I promised to take. I didn't take it, so people are mad at me. Okay, some more cards. Okay, so I do want this, and it's worth getting. Where's all my industrial capacity going? Okay, it's bought in. Oh, okay, that's super good. Private industry, because there's public industry and also private industry, and they've just built a light industry. So that's super good actually, because I will get some industrial points from that. So that's actually really good. So let's take you, Mr. Buggy. And Buggies also have a lot of recon. Okay, first decisions, national budgets. I think this is fine. If you play around with this too much, they get mad at you. The people you took money away from get mad at you, and the people who you gave money to like you more, but they always hate you more. New Director of Imperial Council. This is a good place to place one of these guys who aren't that good. And this number here, suitability rating, gives you an idea of do they currently have the right skills for this position. And he has some, so I guess this guy, but he's trash and he should know it. Okay, I think this is the slide that helps me get more leaders. Military advisors requested. This seems fine. Makes people happy. Gives me autocracy. That seems fine. Okay, training opportunity in 3rd Light Infantry Battalion. So this is just a straight up good event. I will get 2 commandos or a veteran sergeant, and these will help them fight better, but to also get meritocracy and enforcement. And let's head more down the meritocracy line. Let's try and prioritize that a little bit. Oh yeah, so I can show the logistics now. So now you can see only a trickle is going down this way for this militia unit, and a trickle is going into these places, which is required too, but most of it's going along this dirt road, which is going to supply my soldiers. That's exactly what I wanted. Are you complaining about anything? You can also click this bottleneck thing, and this tells you where you don't have enough logistics points, and currently I have enough everywhere, so everything is fine. I will definitely run into logistics issues later in this game. That's just how this game works. Everyone's so far away. Okay, let's see if... Okay. Who exactly are these people? I think these are just like garbage people with no infrastructure. Just like nomads. And yes, I will invade the territory. So let's see. So most of the units don't have action points. It gives you some kind of odds thing. This can be very misleading, but this is bad. So I'm not going to do this fight. Most of my units don't have enough action points yet, so it's just a bad idea. So I am going to wait and maybe replenish some troops if I can. I can't because I don't have enough industrial capacity. Where did it all go? I produced 104, and I don't know where it went. Everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Maybe it was used to make the private light industry. And if it went there, that's totally fine. And it's really tempting to build another recycling facility on these ruins here. One reason why I'm hesitant about it is that because it's a little far from my capital. I know it looks short, but in this game it's very far. It's hard to move troops back and forth, and I could lose it quite easily. But it's definitely something worth considering. So maybe I should do that. And if I don't find another city to take over soon, I can also just build a new city. Okay, so hospital, not what I'm looking for. Hey, better combat armor. So that's cool. Not quite what I'm looking for. I'm looking for cards that give me leaders. Okay, policy speech. I tell them I'm going to do something, and then maybe I'll do it and they'll be pleased. Let's do this one. Well, that's basically just explore more. Okay, so now I can research barracks or hospital. Let's just stick with barracks. I don't particularly care about either of these. High velocity guns, patterned virus suit. Definitely more armor is better. Refugees at the border. A group of 4,000 refugees is trying to enter into your zone. They are fleeing from Brutestein. President of Brutestein has radioed to make clear we should not allow them in. Now, Brutestein are here. I intend to go to war with them. So I piss off the people I don't like, and I get refugees. And in this game, refugees are good because they make your economy go. So that's cool. But let's get these recruits. Let's kill this one first. Oh, 2.2. Could definitely hope for better. But let's do it. I've got the buggy that's really good, and I've got these guys that are really good. Let's do it. So here's the combat screen. He died. They're running away. They're running away. So I killed that guy. Okay, so what happened? These red numbers means they killed something. These are the guys that died, and they killed one of those things. So they lost 1 unit, but these units are much better than what they killed. But I won the battle. So, yeah, it's going to be attrition-y. And that's kind of fine. Yeah, I think I'm still okay for logistics. They can draw supply from the road, provided they aren't too far from the road, and currently it's still fine. And I think it's actually time that I got some covert spies, because the spies will actually tell me where the enemies are. So let's new organization. And you generally want to make these as quickly as possible, because you do need all of them. Secret Service Council, let's do it. But I really need new people. It's such a problem. Okay. So we're building up metal. Let's have a look at items, industry. So making 128, so that's cool. 100% from the light industry produced. Okay, so service tax and very small degraded and the light industry. So yeah, again, some from a few different sources. We've got that much metal. You did 1 turn's construction. I could just upgrade this one to a level 2, which I think is probably the better idea right now. Keep everything safe, and I can afford this. And then I might, because building things requires logistics, so let's increase the logistics supply that goes there. Okay. Okie doke. Yeah, it's a big problem at the start of the game. You just need everything. And in the early starts of the game, you don't need rare metals. You'll definitely need them later on. They're very important, but at the moment, I'm basically too dumb to make anything that requires rare materials. So they're attacking me. They're a little bit, you can see the combat screens, they jump up very quickly. Somebody took Verolette, which is not great because it's a great city, a great source of population for my city. They'll come here if they like life. I definitely do want it, but hey, water. I thought it said metal, but it's not. It's just water. It's garbage water in the desert. Recruit Merc, gives me a leader, very expensive. Okay. Let's see what you got. CEO asks you to participate. Let's take just mind. Okay, Secret Service Council. This guy is terrible, but at least it can exist. Has an emergency. Okay, it's clustering. It's costing me political power. Let's have a look. I can get a Merc, and I'm going to. They're typically a little bit older, or I can send a spy. If I send a spy, very high chances of success. So I'm going to do that. I'm hoping that the spy will let me know where their city is and allow me to plan. Critical success. Double the number of spies. Fantastic. That's what I wanted. Okay. So now if I can get that Merc, I will. And now I can have a look at him in the reserve pool. And 39 years old, cap 2, pretty trash. We'll be able to lead a brigade. I'm really hoping for a much better leader, but sometimes okay, let's see. Okay, don't have the industrial capacity. You're building. Okay. So yeah, machines. That's the thing to worry about now. Because this production actually requires machines that I only have one left of now. So I'm going to need to get, I think, at least one more machine. I can trade for it or turn. Okay, I can't turn. I have to trade for it. I can buy a machine. The trade menu. But oh, actually, that's 44 is actually very cheap for a machine. Let's do it. How much is metal? Metal 1.65. That's bargain price. I am definitely going to be short of metal, so let's buy it while it's cheap. Maybe we can sell something. Also have to watch the food situation. Now let's have military units in the field. Food goes down very quickly. So let's fill up on food. And let's try and build a dome. I need it, but at the moment now I'm worried that I've got too many things on the production go at the moment. But let's see if I can leave one of you behind. And let's have a look, as you've done like a little bit of fighting now. So yeah, 61 experience points last turn. Like she will get better, and she'll get a lot better in time, but you should just see what happens if you have a young level 4 commander just fighting from the start. It's wonderful. It's amazing what can happen. So if you have artillery, you can do a ranged attack, an artillery bombardment. They're pretty good. So this will help serve to reduce the readiness, destroy entrenchments, and the morale, and generally makes the upcoming assault infantry go much easier. If you click on text, you can see readiness went down from 61 to 34, regiments went down, other things went down too. It's good. It helps a lot, I found. Okay, so in the attack, I got 3.221. I can send my commander in, but there's just a risk of death, and I don't want her to die. And if this doesn't work this turn, it will work the next turn, so I'll be fine. These guys are kicking butt. They run away. The buggies are kicking butt too. I don't mind if they run away. I just don't want them to die. These guys are trash. I don't mind if they die either. So we won. That's great. But I'm gonna have to figure out how to actually clear them out. So yeah, we got the mercenary post, 300 recruits per turn. It's great. So we sent the spies in. That was this turn, right? So hopefully next turn they give us some information, and I should be at the point where I can seriously start thinking about forming a second brigade and invading. That'll be fun. These little orange triangles tell me something is in construction, trying to be built. Just have to wait a few turns because I'm overcommitting my production capacity at the moment. But it's all stuff that's going to help my economy grow in the future. So it's growing the economy. Even the military soldiers are growing my economy. Okay, hey, gained free market, that's another tech. I mean feat, automatic rifle, that's great. Sent spy, okay. Still none of those were leaders, no decisions this turn, that's interesting. Okay, so again, okay, so they're building. They gain there, how much industrial points did they get? 128. It's something. Okay. Okay, so yeah, the spies told me information. It told me the enemy is here. Yeah, so that's good. They'll be able to help me plan. But these guys will be a pain in my butt if I don't clear them out. So let's see if I can do something clever here. Okay, I can do something clever here. If you want to get rid of these guys, the easiest way to do it is to surround them, like I am doing thusly. And then, so you can see the yellow line. Yellow box means he didn't get all the supply he needed. So he requested these things and he didn't get all of them. But it's still mostly fine. I just can't go much further away from these roads. And let's have a look at this lady. She should have, not you. Thought you'd have got more experience. Well, it is what it is, I suppose. Okay, so yeah, the body might do it just by itself. But let's, okay, so 14 to 1, that's pretty great. Let's just send in some cannon fodder to take some hits, and that should be sufficient. Yeah, and now they've surrendered. And the big part of their surrender was because they were surrounded. So that's good. It's one less to worry about. It'd be good to clear out a few of these before I launch my assault. I would like, they'll probably come back and try and take this perk, but for as long as possible, I'd like to keep under my control. Recruits at the start of the game they're important, so you can easily run out of them. It might be worthwhile selling something. The prices here fluctuate quite a lot. You have to watch them. All the prices are not good. I don't need to buy anything at the moment, so I guess I won't. And everything else, just all the other options I have are just a little too expensive for what I need at the moment. I think I'll play one more turn and call it for this episode. So yeah, it's a pretty fast and whirlwind introduction to this game. There's a lot more to this game, and the game escalates very quickly. We had some short battles with some bad nomads who had control of a mercenary camp who provide soldiers. Don't ask too many deep questions. What a mercenary camp is in the middle of the desert in charge of nomads who ride bipedal creatures from Star Wars. Everything's fine. Don't worry about any of that. But now we have that camp, so now the soldiers come and fight for us, because that's how things work in the world. Wouldn't it be great if there's just some camp in the desert that provides soldiers who have control of it? That's what this game is. Okay, they're running away. He's getting surrounded. Okay. Still none of those things were a leader. Military advisors, president of Bundesstein. I mean, like, sure, I'll give you. I don't know. They offer to pay. I don't actually know how this helps them. I know I get credits, autocracy, and people like me. But I'm gonna kill them anyways. Send an envoy to collect. I'm not giving you money. Yes, you can invade us. Okay, so yeah, so they're blackmailing me. I'm gonna say no, and that's gonna start the war. Another perk for a unit, so I can get snipers. Yeah, let's get snipers. Let's buff up the commerce. If you ever can, generally make the strongest thing stronger. That's a generally good go-to rule. These guys are running away, and the war with Bundesstein is going to start next turn, almost assuredly. So bring these guys down to the road. Oh geez, I forgot. I can add these guys into their headquarters, and now they'll get the bonuses too. So that's good. And I'll keep this guy on the asset to try and keep it under his control for as much as he can. He won't be able to hold it indefinitely forever, much like this guy probably can't hold that indefinitely forever, but hey, the farm got built, so that's cool. Recycling plants. I'm wondering if they're logistics limited, and they probably are logistics limited. Well, probably not, because I checked the bottleneck. Yeah, they're fine. They're just building slowly. So yeah, Agridome is done, so they're gonna make food. So I don't actually have any defense here, but what I can do is I can build some replacement troops. And no one's actually calling for machine guns, and these are supposed to be the defensive unit. So I can just build some machine guns, and they'll go in my strategic HQ. They won't fight at high efficacy, but with what's already there, it should help keep things all in check. What else do I want? I mean, ideally I want all of these things, but I really want to save my industry and my metal for industry, and I'm kind of at the point where I actually need to save everything because I want to raise another battalion, another brigade. And I can raise another, no. Yeah, I can't raise it yet. I am short on soldiers, industrial points, so it will have to wait. But I think that's enough for this episode. What's my logistics looking like? Because this is not great. What I can do is there are a few ways you can do logistics. I need this transport hub. So with a few things, a few private assets, I can nationalize them for 500 credits, which I'm going to do. People didn't like it, but now I have control of the truck station. And you have to do that if you want to upgrade the truck station. And for this war, I'm going to have to do that, I think. I'm going to have to do that. Their turn after next, because I need those industrial points to make my next brigade, which I'm going to need to actually win the war. And then the truck station. And then maybe buy some food, because hopefully this is going to make the food next turn. Okay, so thank you for joining me. I hope you enjoyed this game. This game is actually really exciting. There's a lot to it, and things will escalate quickly as we go. So yeah, thanks for watching, and I hope to see you next time. Thanks, bye.